pots, frozen pudding on a stick.
Where am I at? Flashbacks of Pudding Pops and Little Bill reruns. I'm getting ready to call my lawyer. I do love a good Cubano sandwich, but I got a feeling I'm gonna have to go back to eating burritos San Jose. I think we're gonna need a bigger Phelps.
What's up, America? Here we are, back again. I'm your host, Justin.
And I'm Blaine.
And we're going to get right into it.
Let's do it.
You know what we noticed after watching last time? 45. That's who our president is, number 45. The newest thing that Trump is doing to dismantle the legacy of his former, or his predecessor, is rolling back on the resolutions in Cuba.
Oh.
You know anything about that?
A little bit. Okay. He's trying to tell everybody to forgive and don't forget. That's what I think about it.
I'd say that'd be a good way to sum it up. Essentially what it comes down to is back in 2015, Obama started scaling back on all the restrictions between us and Cuba.
Which is good business, man.
It is, because pretty much what it comes down to, Cuba was a holdout from a different time. And, you know, a time when, you know, fuck communism, and I mean, still fuck communism, because I'm a red-blooded American, so I say fuck communism.
America, baby.
I'm so not communist when I bleed, this shit's still blue when it gets oxidized, because I don't bleed red.
It's a medical impossibility, but you guys get the gist.
Right. So what's happening is that, you know, we have kind of just acted like Cuba doesn't exist, despite all of the wealth of opportunity for both nations countries to have. We deal with people that are so much worse than Cuba. I mean, yes, Castro, the communist regime, they're horrible.
Hell,
bad with human
Trump
rights.
deals with Russian.
Right, yeah, he's all about Russia, you know, so
Yeah.
that's about as fucking commie as it gets. Things like Cuban cigars, Cuban rum, travel, tourism, you know, these are all like,
the good things about Cuba.
You know, I mean, Cuban stuff is a commodity. Whether you went there, the cigars, I mean, Cuban cigars.
I don't have any cigars, but I'll smoke this old American Marble Menthol 72.
That's right.
Right now.
That's it. How's that taste? A little bit of lung cancer?
I like it.
Yeah, whatever.
You know what it tastes like? It tastes like fucking freedom is what it tastes like.
Yeah, it does.
To let me be able to do whatever the fuck I want.
I tell you, boy, that's America. We do what we want. Like we say, Donald Trump can be president, Bruce Jenner can be a chick. We can be whatever we want to be.
Smoke cigarettes if I want.
So what he's doing is he's just kind of rolling back, not reversing Obama's stuff, because he realizes there's money to be made. And there's a lot of companies that in the past 2 years have made great lengths to start doing business with Cuba. So it'd be a slap in their face for him to be the man.
So he's just trying to teeter-totter on that.
Yeah, he's trying to make
everybody happy.
He's getting that right vote, and there's a lot of old Cuban Americans that voted for him because they remember the horrors of the Castro regime. But you know, I try not to keep our show super dark and depressing, but a pretty shitty thing has happened this past week. And there was a shooting at the in Alexandria. The Republicans, they play a baseball game, like the GOP baseball game. They do it every year. It's a thing they've always done. And so 4 or 5 of them were out practicing 7 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday.
This is the Congress.
Yeah, congressman.
Yeah, so
and
like,
including though,
aren't doing much anything else. I go to baseball practice, I guess.
So James Hodgkinson, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, Bernie Sanders supporter, overall hater of Republican politics and especially our president, he shows up and opens fire on the baseball field. It hits 5 people, including House Majority Whip Steve Scalise, who is pretty much the most powerful Republican in Congress. Because the way it goes, you got the president, you got the vice president, you got the Speaker of the House, and then you got the House Majority Whip.
Fourth in line.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not like he would ever have any chance of becoming president.
Well,
but,
not necessarily. Got these people shooting up everything.
Well, that's a good point.
Not
Yeah,
necessarily.
So, I mean, you know, you're at a baseball game at 7 o'clock in the morning. Who expects that somebody's going to come in and do some shit like that?
Well, I'll tell you right now, if I was there and I had that Glock 30 on me, that motherfucker would have struck out.
Second Amendment, America.
Right. You're out of here. Bench clear, like the whole nine. That'd have been good.
Okay. It's not about politics at this point. It's about the fact that this is a nut job.
That dude's butt hurt.
Who shot somebody, shot multiple people, fathers, husbands, you know, because he didn't agree with their political leanings. And you know what? And this is where I got to give the Donald credit.
What?
Because he, yeah,
You're
I
gonna
do.
give
You
the
know,
Donald some credit?
Look, I only talk shit when I can, but you know, when I have to.
You gotta
but,
give credit
know,
when it's due.
I will.
Man.
And he came out and he gave a statement, and he was actually very presidential. Cool. He was unifying. He wasn't saying, you know, attacking one side or the other. He said, we got to come together. This is not right. So, props to you, Donald.
Cheers to Donald.
Going up,
You
were the chosen one.
to the president. So,
The magic beer god turned white this week.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Cheers.
it's a whole thing. You'll learn about that later.
Yeah, the
So,
producer's like, I'm done fucking giving you guys beer. We had to hire a skinny white guy to run the camera and fucking get us new beers.
We
and
appreciate
shit.
that skinny white guy.
Yeah, thank you, skinny white guy.
so-
all right.
So Jeff Sessions comes to testify because James Comey called him out, said he was in a lot of these memos with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm not going to waste time on this. I'm going to let Jeff Sessions tell you exactly what he said.
Let me state this clearly, colleagues. I have never met with or had any conversation with any Russians or any foreign officials concerning any type of interference with any campaign or election in the United States.
Did you have any conversations with Director Comey about those subjects?
I did not, and I'm not able to comment on that.
You were not able to answer the question here, whether you ever discussed that with him?
That's correct.
Know if the president records conversations in the Oval Office or anywhere in the White House?
I do not.
So, Bill Cosby.
Hey!
Bill Cosby's little Bill's been getting him in trouble.
Damn.
You know, but guess what?
What?
He got off.
He got off. Well, I heard he got off 58 times.
That's statute of limitations for you.
Phew. It was real hazy.
Now, well, let me clarify that. I mean, it was a mistrial.
Mistrial.
So he is technically neither guilty
That means
nor
that
innocent.
motherfucker's paid is what that means.
That means that yeah, he was tried on an account of aggravated indecent assault.
Yeah.
And in a mistrial. In 53 hours of deliberation it took.
That is
not reach a decision.
That's a work week, bro.
That's a long. Bro, that's like, for some people, that's way more than a work week.
Yeah, well.
So, it was about an hour into the 6th day of deliberations when the judge, Stephen O'Neill, declared the jury of 7 men, 5 women, hopelessly deadlocked, that mistrial. Immediately afterwards, the prosecution says that they're going to renew the case and they're going to go at it. Because, I mean, because they failed here, even though this is a win for Bill's legal team, he's still not out of the woodwork.
Well, I'll tell you right now, ain't nobody fucking with Theo's dad.
You know, and I don't want Bill Cosby to be guilty, but
no, I don't.
Yeah, it's like OJ.
No one wants it. No one wants it. But he was a little rapey.
What? I mean, I never got rapey.
I mean,
from
well,
him.
obviously, no one knows because it's a mistrial if he was rapey or not. But I feel like it got a little rapey.
You know, speaking of that, it made me think of this meme that I
Like
saw
he just
on
really
Facebook.
wanted the pudding.
This meme right here, Ice Cube or Bill Cosby.
Oh yeah.
Who would you have thought?
Nobody.
Back in the 80s, who was going to be family friendly and who was going to be on over 60 charges of raping women?
Are we there yet?
Bill Cosby's not out of the woodwork.
He's not going anywhere unless he dies because he's getting fucking old.
Yeah. Well,
So
you know what? At this
he
point,
might die before this shit's done with.
It's a very likely
He'll luck up.
possibility.
He'll luck up. That's
Yeah,
the
you know
luckiest thing he'll have.
What we learn here,
going
America, you go too far into the pudding and die before you get caught.
forward. And it'll pop on
or
you.
get busted.
You go too far in the pudding,
And
it'll
it'll
pop.
pop one. Oh! Cheers me, motherfucker. That was good.
All right.
You know what's next? It's a whole thing. Hey guys, I was just at Target and I just saw this PBR thing and they had it at the 7-Eleven. I can't wait. I bet it's gonna taste great.
I'm about to learn y'all something. Get hurt. Right, here it is. It's a whole thing. This week, what is every American like more than shooting guns, having sex, and smoking cigarettes, cheap beer. Want to know one of my favorite cheap beers? And this isn't an ad. I'm not trying to tell anybody to go do what I do because, you know, like, you could be as cool as me, but you never will. PBR. It's very cheap. You go to the bar, it's $2. Awesome. Well, the other night, I go buy a 12-pack. That bitch was $12 at the 7-Eleven. I could have bought a pack of Bud Light, which usually that's what we drink. You know, you see that. Also, once again, not doing advertisement here. My personal preference. My whole thing is being pissed off at these yuppie fucks who see the t-shirt in Walmart and think, hey, I want to start drinking that because now I have a shirt to wear with it. And now, you yuppie bastards are making the price of my beer go up. It's inflation of the worst kind. It's not a fucking gallon of milk. It's not fucking cheese. I don't need it to live. The fuck do I want it? I drink it because it's cheap. Some people drink it because they like the taste. Those fuckers drink it because they're assholes. So, cheers to you, America. We're not drinking cheap no more. That's a whole thing.
You know, well, at this point we've talked about Cuba relations. We've talked about, you know, people shooting other people. We've talked about Bill Cosby being super rapey. Let's lighten it up a little bit.
Yep.
I got something for you, Blaine.
Please, for Christ's
dear
sake,
God,
let's lighten this shit up.
I got something for you.
What do you got?
I'm just gonna tell it to you, and I'm gonna let you run with this.
Okay.
Michael Phelps,
Yeah, Olympian.
Olympic swimmer,
Yeah.
massive world records.
The man, basically.
So he's gonna do something new. I'm just gonna read you this press release because I can't make this shit up.
Okay.
It says, he is our greatest champion to ever get in the water.
True that.
Michael Phelps, 39 world records, 23 Olympic golds. But he has one competition left to win.
What's that?
An event so monumental, no one has ever attempted it before. The world's most decorated athlete takes on the ocean's most efficient
Okay, the ocean.
predator.
Alright, the ocean.
Phelps' first shark, July 23rd. Tune in, America.
Alright, number one, how's that even gonna be
I
a
don't-
thing?
I don't know. It's a great white shark.
But I only have one thing to say. We don't need any independent variables in this situation here. So
Okay.
they need to make sure that the shark gets high before he swims against Michael Phelps, because you know that dude's going to be blitzed. Like, you got to be super high to even swim with a great
Yeah,
white shark.
do you agree to this?
So,
You gotta be doing.
yeah,
I feel like you
dude,
gotta be doing more
I'm
than
pretty
smoking
sure
weed.
he was like high smoking and was like, you know what I'm trying to do, bro? Do you
I'm
know what I'm
trying to
trying to
raise
do?
a shark.
I want to fucking raise a great white shark, bro.
Yeah.
That's badass, man.
The great white Phelps versus the great white shark.
Ooh, nice.
Tune in and we'll see what happens.
Yep, that's in July, guys.
It's a recurring thing that we want to bring attention to whenever we can.
Okay.
You know what this is? It's good cop, bad cop.
Bad boy, what you wanna do?
So, that might be a copyright infringement, Blaine. So that might get cut.
What?
But you know, actually, let's talk about this because you brought
Just
this.
like that song.
Everybody does. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith do.
Yeah, I brought it to your attention.
Yeah,
I was on the Facebook scrolling through, and I stumbled across it. A man, 90 plus years old.
Okay.
I don't know why the cops came. You know, I don't read too good. Why the cops came there, I don't really care. But they were there, and they walked in the house. 90 degrees in this man's house.
Feels like right now.
Right now,
In
yeah.
here.
We have to
It's
turn
hot
the
as
AC off
shit in here right now
like,
to
so
film.
it doesn't pick up on the mic.
So if we're glossy, it's for you.
So anyway, 90 years old, 90 plus degrees. The cop comes in there. He's trying to, figure out what's going on. He offers to buy the man an air conditioning unit.
Wow.
Goes to Home Depot, is in line, starts telling the people about it. And the people from Home Depot chip in half the money for the unit.
No shit.
All out of pocket. Super cool story. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
then after you told me about it, I researched it a little bit. The Home Depot put in $150 on it, and then a third officer came to help them install the AC unit.
That's it. That dude Obviously, that officer's a little broke. Had no money to throw on, but he has a helping hand.
But he's got a helping hand.
Helping hand.
And this is in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yo,
so it's hot here.
Bitch.
Imagine how fucking hot it is
Hot
there.
as a bitch.
Unfortunately, though, where he's doing good cop, I'm going to give you the bad news. We've had another development in, the police brutality that goes on. Geronimo Yanez? I'm pretty sure it's Yanez. The officer who shot Philando Castillo last year.
His name is Geronimo?
Yes.
He jumped right into it.
It's not a laughing matter. That was good.
It wasn't. It's not a laughing matter, but I could.
But do you remember last year? There was the Facebook live stream. Yeah. He was in a car with his girlfriend and his 4-year-old daughter.
I remember.
And officer says he went to go pull for a firearm, which they did find a firearm on him, on his dead body. But at this point, we don't know if he was actually pulling for it or not. That's what the cop says. But he was killed, and guess what, America?
Bastard walks.
I wish I could say this was a surprise, but this is something that happens. And he was acquitted. He was found not guilty of second-degree manslaughter, and also acquitted of 2 accounts of intentional discharge of firearm that endangers safety. Now, real quick, regardless of what happened with Philando and all that, he discharged a firearm next to a child and everybody else. So that right there already screams bullshit. Jurors deliberated 27 hours, heard 2 weeks of testimony. This was actually on July the 6th, so it's almost been a year since this happened. Jury was composed, just so you know, 8 men, 4 women. They had 1 black man, 1 black woman. I don't know if you find that to be important or not, but I feel like in a lot of these cases, seeing like
Definitely.
the biasness and all that happens.
Yep. Lawyers pick certain people on the jury to be what they want. So
the officer testified that he feared for his life because he felt Castillo was putting his hands on his firearm and not on his license or his registration. Now, his lawyers say that Castillo had smoked marijuana earlier that day. Therefore, his judgment was affected. And that, I don't know, I guess that this makes it right.
Like, oh shit, that's not my wallet.
Yeah, have you ever been stoned and thought about pulling a gun on a police officer?
Never.
If I get stoned, I really don't even want to drive, let alone attempt to shoot somebody.
I drive super slow.
Yeah. He got out of it. He's no longer employed. I guess there's some consolation. At least he's not a police officer anymore.
Well,
Good cop, bad cop, America.
well, we done it before. We'll do it again. You already know what the next thing's gonna be.
What's it gonna be?
It's Buyers on Fire.
Yeah. As I've been getting feedback on the show, we're fairly new at this, and whether it's YouTube comments or old family friends that have watched, it seems people think that we are just targeting Donald Trump just to do it. So let me clarify something to you, America. First and foremost, I look at myself as a journalist. And I don't care if you feel any differently about that. I don't care if you call me fake news, if you say I'm blowing smoke up my own ass. But that's how I look at myself. So in that sense, the press is the fourth estate. This experiment that is democracy has been dependent upon the press to be there to call people on their bullshit. So you know what? Yes, I am going to criticize. I'm going to critique. I'm going to talk shit. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to call out the people in power that are running this country. Now, it doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump, if it was Barack Obama, had Hillary Clinton run president, if it was Ronald Reagan or Franklin D. Roosevelt, because I can give you fallacies on all of them that I would call out. But you know what? It's not my fault that Donald Trump is making himself a constant part of the news, whether it's his tweets or the things that he does. So for those of you that think that I'm just maybe some liberal snowflake that doesn't like the president because he's Donald Trump, one, that's not true, because I'm not a liberal. I'll tell you that right now. I don't like labels. And you know what? I'd say you're the snowflake because you are so f***ing sensitive about somebody like Donald Trump. Because you know what? The reason why we got to this place is because of y'all and you in this country. That we had to go between Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. So I guarantee you, I would be talking shit about either one of them. So don't sit there and think it's a personal attack against your president. It's an attack against anybody who I think is full of shit. That's all I got for you today.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.